What if I told you there's a country where you can swim beside the largest living structure on Earth in the morning, stand on the edge of an ancient sacred monolith glowing blood red at sunset, and fall asleep to the howl of dingoes under a sky so packed with stars it looks painted, all within the same week? That country is Australia. And no, this isn't a highlight reel. This is the real thing. Australia is one of those rare destinations that doesn't just meet your expectations, it completely rewrites them. It's the world's largest island and smallest continent, a land so ancient, so wildly alive, and so staggeringly beautiful that travelers often arrive with a plan and leave with a story they never expected to tell. Over 80% of its plants, mammals, reptiles, and frogs exist nowhere else on the planet. Its indigenous cultures stretch back more than 65,000 years, the oldest continuous living cultures in human history. Its landscapes shift from steaming tropical rainforests to bone-dry crimson deserts, from pristine white sand beaches to glacial mountain peaks, sometimes within a single day's drive. But here's the thing most travelers get wrong about Australia: they underestimate it. They budget a week, see Sydney, and fly home thinking they've seen it. They haven't even scratched the surface. So today, we're doing it properly. I'm taking you on a carefully crafted round trip through Australia's greatest destinations, the ones that will genuinely change the way you see the world. We'll move city by city, wonder by wonder, giving you everything you need to experience this country the way it deserves to be experienced. From the electric laneways of Melbourne and the wine-soaked valleys just beyond it, down through the cool and quirky streets of Hobart, up through the political heartbeat of Canberra, into the sun-drenched spectacle of Sydney, along the soulful coast to Byron Bay, through the tropical energy of Brisbane, into the island paradise of the Whitsundays, north to the reef gateway city of Cairns, across to the wild frontier of Darwin, and deep into the sacred red heart of Alice Springs. This is the ultimate Australian journey. Let's go. Melbourne. Every great Australian adventure should begin in Melbourne, and the moment you arrive, you'll understand why this city regularly tops global livability rankings. Melbourne is layered. On the surface, it's a sleek, cosmopolitan city of grand Victorian architecture, sweeping boulevards, and the world's most extensive tram network, which weaves through the CBD like the city's own circulatory system. But duck into the right laneway, and Melbourne is famous for its laneways, and you'll find a completely different world. Hand-painted murals stretching 3 stories high, specialty coffee roasters the size of a closet producing some of the best espresso you'll ever taste, cocktail bars hidden behind unmarked doors, and underground jazz clubs that don't even open until midnight. Hosier Lane is the postcard shot, walls layered with rotating street art from some of Australia's most celebrated urban artists. But the real magic happens when you wander without a map. De Grave Street, Centre Place, AC/DC Lane. Each one is its own universe. Melbourne's soul, though, was forged in history. Founded in 1835 and catapulted to extraordinary wealth during the gold rush of the 1850s, the city built itself to impress. The Royal Exhibition Building, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, still stands as a monument to that ambition, its dome visible from rooftops across Carlton. Flinders Street Station, with its iconic clocks and ochre facade, remains the most photographed meeting point in the country. For food lovers, Melbourne is simply unmatched in Australia. Lygon Street pulses with Italian trattorias that have fed generations of families. Chinatown in the CBD is one of the longest in the Southern Hemisphere. The South Melbourne Market and Queen Victoria Market draw locals who take their produce seriously, and visitors who suddenly find themselves buying cheese they have no way of transporting home. The Melbourne Cricket Ground, known simply as the MCG, is a cathedral if you understand sport. A 100,000-seat coliseum that has hosted everything from the 1956 Olympics to the annual AFL Grand Final. And every January, the the city transforms around the Australian Open, when the world's best tennis players descend, and the streets around Melbourne Park throb with electricity. Explore Fitzroy and Collingwood for the city's creative heartbeat. Independent bookshops, record stores, galleries, and live music pouring out of venues every night of the week. Best time to visit: September through November, spring, and March through May, autumn. Warm days, cool evenings, and the city at its most vibrant. Yarra Valley. Just an hour's drive east of Melbourne, the Yarra Valley feels like the world has exhaled. Rolling green hills blanketed in vines, cool morning mist hanging over the valley. Why floors, and the kind of quiet that makes you realize how loud city life actually is. This is one of Australia's most celebrated wine regions, and its history goes all the way back to the 1830s, making it one of the earliest wine-producing regions in the entire country. The Yarra Valley specializes in cool climate varietals. Pinot Noir and Chardonnay are the stars, and the wineries here aren't mass production operations. Many are small, family-owned estates where the winemaker will pour your tasting glass themselves and talk you through every decision that went into the bottle. That intimacy is what sets the Yarra Valley apart from larger, more commercial wine regions. But the valley isn't just about wine. The culinary scene has evolved into something extraordinary: farm-to-table restaurants sourcing produce from within kilometers of the kitchen, artisan cheesemakers, organic berry farms, and weekend markets overflowing with the kind of food that reminds you why locally grown always tastes different. For the adventurous, nothing beats rising before dawn for a hot air balloon ride over the valley at sunrise, drifting silently above a patchwork of vineyards and forests as the morning light turns everything golden. It is, without question, one of the most beautiful things you can do in Victoria. Wildlife lovers should visit the Healesville Sanctuary, one of Australia's finest wildlife sanctuaries, where you can encounter koalas, platypuses, echidnas, and wedge-tailed eagles in naturalistic, thoughtfully designed habitats. Best time to visit: spring and autumn. The vines are either flowering or turning amber and red, and the landscape is at its most dramatically beautiful. Hobart. Flying into Hobart, the first thing you notice is how green everything is. After the mainland's sun-baked expanses, Tasmania feels almost European, lush, cool, and intimate. Hobart is the kind of city that draws you in slowly and then refuses to let you go. It holds the distinction of being one of the world's most geographically extreme capital cities, closer to Antarctica than to Perth. That remoteness has given Hobart its character: self-sufficient, fiercely independent, and quietly extraordinary. The city's colonial history is visible everywhere. Established as a penal settlement in 1804, Hobart's oldest precinct, Salamanca Place, is a row of Georgian sandstone warehouses built by convict labor in the 1830s. Today, those warehouses are home to galleries, restaurants, and boutiques, and every Saturday the area transforms into one of Australia's best outdoor markets, where local artisans, farmers, and makers fill the cobblestones with color, noise, and irresistible food. Mount Wellington, or Kunanyi, as it's known to the traditional Muwinina people, towers over the city at 1,271 meters. On clear days, driving to the summit rewards you with a panorama so vast and so silent that it recalibrates something inside you. Snow occasionally dusts the peak even in late spring, making it one of Tasmania's most dynamic natural features. The Museum of Old and New Art, Mona, deserves its own paragraph. Opened in 2011 and built into the sandstone cliffs above the Derwent River, Mona is unlike any museum anywhere in the world. Its founder, David Walsh, built it as an expression of genuine obsession, a labyrinthine underground gallery containing provocative, challenging, and profoundly beautiful works from ancient Egypt to contemporary art. The ferry ride to Mona along the Derwent is itself one of Hobart's great experiences. And then there's the food. Tasmania is Australia's agricultural jewel. Pristine water, clean air, and rich soil produce some of the finest salmon, oysters, cheese, berries, and whiskey in the world. Eating in Hobart is an exercise in extraordinary produce, and the city's chefs know exactly what to do with it. Canberra. Canberra is one of the most misunderstood cities in Australia. Locals from Sydney and Melbourne have a tradition of gently mocking it, which is both unfair and increasingly inaccurate. Those who actually visit leave surprised and usually impressed. Designed at the dawn of the 20th century by American architect Walter Burley Griffin, Canberra was purpose-built to serve as Australia's capital after Sydney and Melbourne couldn't agree on which of them deserved the honor. Griffin's vision was radical, a city built around nature, with man-made Lake Burley Griffin at its center, and the land itself treated as part of the urban design. The result is a city of remarkable green spaces, wide vistas, and world-class national institutions. Parliament House, completed in 1988 and built into the side of Capitol Hill, is one of the most architecturally significant buildings in the country, and visitors can walk its corridors, sit in the public galleries, and genuinely engage with the machinery of Australian democracy. The Australian War Memorial is one of the most moving places in the country. Its archive texture is deliberately imposing, a Byzantine dome flanked by colonnaded walkways. And inside, the exhibitions are meticulous, human, and deeply respectful. The last post-ceremony, held at closing time each day, is brief and utterly unforgettable. The National Gallery of Australia houses the largest collection of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander art in the world, an extraordinary treasure that many Australians themselves have never seen. Beyond its indigenous collection, the gallery holds significant international works and temporary exhibitions that draw visitors from across the country. Lake Burley Griffin, the city's glittering centerpiece, is perfect for cycling, kayaking, or simply walking the foreshore as the light shifts across the water. The surrounding parkland is dotted with sculptures and lookout points that frame the parliamentary triangle in ways that remind you this city was designed with intention. Sydney. Let's be honest, Sydney was built to stun you, and it does. There are cities in the world that are beautiful, and there are cities that are spectacular, and Sydney sits firmly, emphatically in the second category. The harbour alone, stretching and curling its way inland from the Tasman Sea, is one of the great natural amphitheaters of the world. Add the Opera House, add the Harbour Bridge, add a skyline that somehow manages to look both bold and elegant. The result is a city that makes people gasp. The Sydney Opera House stands on Bennelong Point like a ship at full sail, its interlocking shell-shaped roofs a genuine work of architectural genius. Designed by Danish architect Bjørn Utzon and opened in 1973 after a construction saga involving political scandal, budget blowouts, and Utzon's eventual resignation, the building is both a masterpiece and a miracle. Walking around it at dusk, when the shells glow white against a darkening sky and the harbor lights begin to flicker on, is something you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. The Sydney Harbour Bridge, the coat hanger, as locals affectionately call it, is the world's largest steel arch bridge, and climbing it is one of the definitive Australian experiences. The bridge climb takes you up the arch to the very top, 134 meters above the water, where Sydney sprawls in every direction in a panorama so overwhelming it's almost absurd. Bondi Beach needs no introduction, but it rewards exploration beyond the famous sweep of sand. The Bondi to Coogee Coastal Walk stretches 6 kilometers along dramatic sandstone cliffs, past sea pools carved into the rock and smaller, less crowded beaches that feel like secrets. Walk it in the morning while Bondi's famous icebergs pool catches the early light, and you'll understand why Sydneysiders consider themselves among the luckiest people on Earth. The Rocks District, where the colony of New South Wales was established in 1788, offers Sydney's most concentrated history. Cobblestone laneways, colonial-era pubs, and weekend markets that spill color and noise across the waterfront. Darling Harbour pulses with family energy, aquariums, museums, and one of the best skyline views in the city. The CBD itself rewards walking. The Queen Victoria building is a Victorian shopping arcade so beautiful it borders on ridiculous. And the Royal Botanic Garden offers the finest free views of the Opera House and Harbour from anywhere in the city. Byron Bay. After Sydney's intensity, Byron Bay arrives like a long, slow exhale. Situated at the easternmost point of mainland Australia, the first place to catch the sunrise each morning, Byron Bay has built a reputation as Australia's spiritual reset button. Surfers, artists, yogis, families, and free spirits all seem to find what they're looking for here, which is either a great testament to the place or a great mystery. Probably both. Cape Byron Lighthouse crowns the headland above the town, and the walking track that circles it is one of the most beautiful easy hikes in the country. The views from the Cape, sweeping north and south along the coast, out into the deep blue Pacific, are the kind that make you stop walking and just stand there, uselessly trying to memorize what you're seeing. Between June and November, humpback whales migrate past in numbers that are sometimes genuinely astonishing. Dolphins are a near-daily fixture in the waters below. The beaches spread in every direction from the Cape, each with its own character. Main Beach is where the town comes to swim. Wakego's Beach, tucked below the Cape, is secluded and jewel-like. The Pass is the surfer's domain, where long, smooth rights break consistently enough to draw riders from around the world. The hinterland behind Byron is an underrated treasure. Villages like Bangalore, Mullumbimby, and Federal feel like they exist slightly outside the normal flow of time. Farmers' markets, live music at the pub, galleries in repurposed dairy sheds, and rainforest walks that bring you face-to-face with ancient fig trees. Byron Bay's wellness culture is genuine and extensive. Yoga retreats, sound healing, surf coaching, and day spas are available everywhere and cater to every budget. Even if you've never been remotely interested in any of those things, arriving in Byron Bay makes you reconsider. Brisbane. Brisbane is Australia's comeback city, a destination that spent decades being overlooked and has now emphatically arrived. The city's transformation has been staggering. What was once seen as a large country town has emerged as one of the most dynamic, culturally rich, and genuinely exciting cities in the Southern Hemisphere. And with the 2032 Olympic Games on the horizon, that energy is only accelerating. South Bank is Brisbane's living room, a sprawling riverside precinct that includes a man-made beach, lush rainforest boardwalks, outdoor cinemas, world-class museums, and restaurants representing every cuisine on Earth. The Gallery of Modern Art here is among the finest contemporary art institutions in Australia. Streets Beach, South Bank's artificial beach, sits right on the river's edge, a genuinely remarkable piece of urban design that locals use every single day. The Story Bridge, which spans the Brisbane River in a single dramatic arch, offers the same kind of climb experience as Sydney's Harbour Bridge, except fewer people know about it, which means smaller crowds and a slightly more intimate experience at the top. The Brisbane River is the city's defining feature, and the best way to understand Brisbane's geography is from the water. The CityCat ferries crisscross the river constantly and double as one of the world's most scenic public transport systems. Affordable, frequent, and operating past the city's best riverside restaurants and parklands. The Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary, just outside the city, is the world's oldest koala sanctuary and home to over 130 koalas. You can hold one, an experience that remains unexpectedly wonderful regardless of how many animal encounters you've had in life, and hand-feed kangaroos in open paddocks. The Whitsundays. There are places in the world that look too good to be real, places that seem to belong on a poster rather than on an actual map. The Whitsundays is one of those places. And then you arrive, and it's even better than the poster. 74 tropical islands scattered across the heart of the Coral Sea. The Whitsundays sit within the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park and represent one of the most concentrated collections of natural beauty anywhere on Earth. The water is a shade of turquoise that you won't have a word for until you see it. The beaches are made of 98% pure silica sand, so fine, so white, and so reflective that it resembles snow. Whitehaven Beach on Whitsunday Island consistently ranks among the most beautiful beaches in the world. And standing on it, looking across the swirling tidal patterns of Hill Inlet where white sand and turquoise water merge in constantly shifting patterns, you understand why. The silica sand doesn't retain heat, so even on the most scorching summer day, you can walk barefoot without flinching. Sailing is the classic way to experience the Whitsundays, chartering a vessel and spending several nights moving between islands, anchoring in secluded coves, snorkeling over coral gardens at sunrise. The Great Barrier Reef's outer edges are accessible from the Whitsundays, offering snorkeling and diving through reef systems of extraordinary complexity and color. Hamilton Island, the largest inhabited island in the group, operates as a self-contained resort island with golf buggy transport, multiple restaurants, and accommodation ranging from beachfront studios to hilltop villas. It's the Whitsundays with room service, which suits some travelers exactly right. Cairns. If the Whitsundays give you a taste of the reef, Cairns delivers the full feast. Sitting at the top of Queensland, where the tropical rainforest meets the Coral Sea, Cairns is one of the world's great gateway cities, the jumping-off point for two of the most awe-inspiring natural environments on the planet, the Great Barrier Reef and the Daintree Rainforest. The Great Barrier Reef is, in statistics, staggering. Over 2,300 kilometers long, home to more than 1,500 species of fish, 4,000 types of mollusk, 240 species of birds, and coral structures that have been growing for thousands of years. But statistics don't prepare you for actually being in it. Floating over a coral garden in clear, warm water, surrounded by parrotfish, sea turtles, reef sharks, and more color than you can process. It is an experience that changes people. Glass-bottom boat tour and semi-submersible vessels offer reef access for those who prefer to stay dry. The Daintree Rainforest, just north of Cairns, is the oldest tropical rainforest in the world, older than the Amazon. It has been continuously forested for 180 million years, and within its green cathedral plants and creatures exist that are found nowhere else. A guided night walk through the Daintree, torch in hand as tree frogs and possums materialize from the dark, is one of the most extraordinary wildlife experiences in Australia. The Kuranda Scenic Railway, winding up through the rainforest from Cairns to the mountain village of Kuranda, passes through tunnels blasted through rock in the 1880s and across bridges over waterfalls that pour down the escarpment. It is considered one of the great train journeys of the world, a claim that, for once, is entirely justified. Darwin. Darwin operates on its own frequency. It's the northernmost capital city in Australia, closer to Bali than to Sydney, and that geographical reality shapes everything about it: the climate, the food, the the culture, and the extraordinary access it provides to some of Australia's most dramatic wilderness. The city sits on a plateau above Darwin Harbour, and the harbour is everything here. The famous Mindil Beach Sunset Market, held Thursday and Sunday evenings during the dry season, draws thousands of people to watch the sun dissolve into the Timor Sea while eating their way through stalls offering Thai, Malaysian, Indonesian, Indian, and local Northern Territory cuisine. It is, without question, one of the most atmospheric market experiences in the country. Crocosaurus Cove in the heart of the CBD offers one of Darwin's most memorable and slightly terrifying experiences, the Cage of Death. You descend into a plexiglass cylinder that is then lowered into a pool containing one of the Northern Territory's largest captive saltwater crocodiles. The crocodile is separated from you by a few centimeters of transparent acrylic. It is not for everyone, but those who do it never stop talking about it. Beyond the city, Darwin is the gateway to two of Australia's most significant wild places. Litchfield National Park, just 90 minutes away, features dramatic waterfalls plunging into crystal-clear swimming holes, cathedral termite mounds that stand taller than most humans, and a sense of primordial quiet. Kakadu National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site 2 hours from Darwin, holds some of the most ancient and significant Aboriginal rock art on Earth, paintings that are 20,000 years old, still ochre bright against the sandstone walls, as well as wetlands teeming with bird life, crocodiles, and buffalo. Alice Springs and Uluru. There is no preparation adequate for seeing Uluru for the first time. You drive for hours through flat, red, apparently featureless desert, and then suddenly, impossibly, it appears. A single monolithic sandstone rock rising 348 meters from the earth, 10 kilometers in circumference, burning orange in the afternoon sun. The Anangu people, who have been custodians of this land for at least 30,000 years, call it Uluru, and the spiritual weight they ascribe to it, you feel it, even if you have no framework for it. At sunrise, the rock appears to shift through a spectrum of colors, purple to deep red to blazing orange to pale ochre, as the light changes by the second. At sunset, the reverse journey. Sitting in silence and watching this happen is one of those experiences that strips away the noise of ordinary life and makes you feel briefly but genuinely the scale of geological time. Alice Springs, 450 kilometers to the north, serves as the base for exploring this part of the country and is itself a place of fascinating contradiction. A remote outback town of 25,000 people, it holds the Alice Springs Desert Park, one of the finest wildlife sanctuaries in Central Australia, where you can see thorny devils, parrakeets, bilbies, and free-flying birds of prey in their natural habitat. The MacDonnell Ranges stretch east and west of the town, offering gorges, water holes, and ancient rock formations that reward exploration on foot. A hot air balloon flight at dawn over the Red Centre is perhaps the most cinematic thing you can do in the Australian interior, floating above a landscape so vast and so ancient it makes the rest of the world feel compressed and hurried. Australia is not a country you do in a week. It's not even a country you do in a month. It is a place you return to, because every time you leave, you realize you left something unseen. What makes Australia truly extraordinary isn't any single landmark or natural wonder. It's the accumulation of experiences across an entire continent. The way deserts turn to reef, forests turn to city, and ancient history lives alongside daily life in a way you don't find anywhere else. It's the wildlife that exists nowhere else. It's the indigenous cultures that hold within them tens of thousands of years of knowledge about how to live with a landscape rather than against it. It's the kind of place that makes you ask, on your last night, looking out at whatever body of water you've ended up beside, why you didn't come sooner. So go plan the trip, prioritize the destinations that come. LL to you. Give yourself more time than you think you need. And when you're standing on the rim of Kings Canyon, or watching a sea turtle rise through a shaft of reef light, or eating a pie floater at a Melbourne laneway cafe at midnight, remember that no itinerary, no matter how well crafted, fully captures what Australia actually is. It has to be lived, and it is absolutely, unreservedly worth living. If this guide inspired you, share it with someone who needs a push to book that flight. Drop your favorite Australian experience in the comments. We'd love to hear where Australia surprised you the most.